Okay, hi there everyone. Thank you for joining our adOptimizer webinar. I'm really excited to be here with you guys, resolving some of the questions a lot of our users have come up with. So without any further ado, let's get to it. On today's webinar, we will be addressing the following subjects. First will be how does the adOptimizer work? Then we're going to go through how do I create a new campaign? We're also going to see how do I see my campaign results? And finally, we're going to be checking how does the ad analyzer work. Now, before we get into it, I want to clarify that in order to be able to resolve all of the questions you may have and stay within the time limit of the webinar, the questions you ask will be answered individually on an email, so don't hesitate to ask if you have any questions throughout the seminar. Just write them down. At any point you might have them, try to be specific with them, and we'll be replying to all of your questions once the webinar is over. Now, let's get to discover a tool that will change the way you advertise. And the main question is, how does the ad optimizer work? So this is probably the most common questions we've had from our users, and I understand that getting used to the idea of a robot outperforming humans can be scary, but don't worry. I promise you our robots are not evil, and this is, in general terms, how we optimize your campaigns. The method that we used is called advanced dynamic optimization. Now, it's important to highlight that this method works based on AI instead of A/B testing. The process itself is pretty straightforward, and it would be pretty much the same as if you were creating a campaign directly on Facebook or Google. First of all, you provide us with your campaign settings, two or more visual assets, and your copies. Then we will create a single campaign that will be analyzed for 3 to 7 days, depending on the objective you chose, and this step will be known as the training stage. During this time, our system will be learning and understanding things like placement, age, genders, creative assets, and interests, ultimately analyzing thousands of variables at this stage. Our AI will be finding what best fits your budget, discovering the audiences with the highest level of interest, the placements that attract the most attention, and the most effective creative assets from your portfolio. Now, this entire process will be done using AI to predict what will work instead of spending large portions of your budget testing thousands of variation during this training stage. Once this initial training process finishes, our AI might decide to stop some ads, create new ones, or change configurations. It might leave one or several ad sets. We strongly encourage our users not to stop this process, or the system will have to start from scratch. Now, during the post-training stage, our AI will continuously analyze results and adjust configurations, so we keep matching the best creative assets with the best audience for the rest of your campaign. This means that the AI will not stop doing its job only after it has finished the training, but it will remain doing so throughout the rest of your campaign. So it will always continuously keep optimizing. This is an important disclaimer, and even though we create the ads in your ad accounts, you should not modify the ads in your business manager or MCC directly. If you do this, the whole process will be interrupted and we won't be able to accurately optimize. So thank you for your attention so far, and now let's get to it. Let's see how the ad optimizer works. So 1 minute while I bring this screen up. So this is what the ad optimizer dashboard looks like. If we scroll down here, you will be able to see all the campaigns that you have run before or the ones that you're currently running. And where we want to go now is to this button that says create a new campaign. If you've never used the ad optimizer, if you have never created a campaign before, you will only see one big button that says create a new campaign. So that's where we want to go now. So this will be the first screen that you'll find throughout the campaign creation process. It's the choose the objective screen. And we currently have 7 of the most popular objectives available. We have interactions, we have traffic, we have video views, awareness, lead generation, ROI or conversions, and app installs. If you look to the right of each of objectives, you will see the platforms where they are currently available. So for example, ROI has Facebook, Instagram, Google Search, and Display. All of them have Facebook and Instagram right now, and we're currently working on expanding these with plans of adding YouTube, LinkedIn, and Amazon as platforms in the near future. And if you're having any doubts on which objective to choose, well, you can see the name, and on top of it, you can read a little bit of what the objective will do for you. So awareness will get you to reach more people who care about the brand, or I want the right people to see my video, then it's video views. But if that's still not enough, I'll invite you all to check out this awesome video our team came up with in order to break it down for you a little bit more specifically. Um, This video will let you know which objective will probably work better for you. So if you have any questions or doubts, just check it and it will help you make up your mind on which objective will be more useful for yourself. Now, for this specific webinar, I'm going to follow the traffic objective, which is probably the most popular objective we have. So once you click on it, it will show you the different formats available and their requirements. So we have images, carousels, and video for Facebook and Instagram. For search, you will be needing keywords and ads. And then for display, we'll be using banners. So if you don't happen to have any available creative assets and you want to wow your customers with images or videos like the one I just showed you, you can always use the ad creator tool, which will have our in-house designers working to have your visual assets ready within 1 business day. So later on the process, I'll show you more specifically how to use this feature. So we'll leave it for like there for now. And then underneath, you'll see the minimum investment budget per objective, which on this case, for this specific objective is $300. And finally, a small disclaimer asking you to be certain that you have administrator's permission on the ad accounts where you're planning to advertise. So once you've gone through this, we're ready to start our first campaign. So let's go ahead and click on choose this objective. Now this will sort of the official first step in the campaign creation process other than choosing the objective. So the first thing we need to do is to give a name to our campaign. And now before we get to it, I'll tell you a brief story of what my campaign is going to be about. So last weekend, my girlfriend and her niece went to the pet store with the intention of buying a couple of goldfishes for her niece. And when I got back home, they had not only bought the goldfishes, but my girlfriend also thought it would be a great idea to bring a golden retriever puppy. Now, don't get me wrong, I love puppies, but this is the third time in a month that this happens. And we have kept the other 2 dogs, so we can't really keep the puppy this time around. For this reason, I'm going to create a campaign that helps me find a loving family for our newly adopted puppy. So I'm going to type in puppy family mission. That's what we're going to do with this campaign. We're going to find a home for the adopted puppy that I have at home. Now, the next thing I want to do is select the channel I want to run this ad on. Since I know this puppy will melt everyone's heart once they see him, I'm going to select Facebook so I can run an images campaign. If this was the first time you were creating this campaign, once you click on Facebook, it will bring a pop-up asking you to select the page you want to connect to the adOptimizer. So since this is our official account, we already have several accounts linked. So I'm just going to look for the page that I want to use, which in this case will be Datagran, and the Facebook account will be adOptimizer. I'm pretty sure my company won't have any issues if I run a campaign once they see the dog I'm trying to find a house for. So the next thing you can do is decide if you want to run a campaign on mobile or desktop or both. Now keep in mind that if you're going to run an Instagram campaign, the desktop only option will not be available. So if I click here on Instagram, you'll see this is immediately becomes unavailable. So for now, I'm just going to run it on Facebook and I'm going to choose all devices. Now it's time to set the duration of my campaign. So if I'm going to use the minimum budget, it's recommended to run the campaign for no more than 3 weeks, because otherwise we would be leaving a very reduced daily budget. So let's say I'm going to start it today, Monday the 18th. I'm going to set it up for, let's say, 2 weeks, so until July 2nd. Besides, I'm pretty certain that someone will fall in love with the dog as soon as they see him, so I won't have to run this campaign for too long. Finally, I'm going to go ahead and add the budget, which is going to be $300. And then it requests for a target URL. It's not mandatory, but if you do have a web page that you want to use, or if you have a landing page where you want to send your customers to, you can always do that. So I'm just going to type in savethecutepuppy.com, even though I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist. But let's say that was my target URL, so that's where I'm going to be sending my customers. So once I have reviewed everything on this first screen, as you can see, the information is pretty simple. I'm going to go ahead and click on Next. And this will take us to the audience screen. Now on this screen, we will be setting the audience we want to reach. In my case, for my beloved puppy. And if you have run campaigns like this before, you can select existing audiences. Um, it will come up with every audience that you have used within the adOptimizer campaigns. So you can see we've used like several different tests and audiences. If not, you can also have custom audiences. If you have custom audiences saved on the Facebook account that you linked, they will also show up here. You can exclude them as well. Or if you just want to, you can start an audience from scratch. So the first thing we want to do is to name the audience I'm going to use. I'm going to type in family for a puppy. So I'm pretty sure both men and women will be very interested in adopting a puppy like this. So I'm just going to select both genders. You can choose men or women or both. And regarding the age, I'm also going to leave a broad audience. And now locations. I don't want to ship this dog anywhere I'm not personally able to visit, so I'll keep the location restricted to my city, which in this case I'm going to type in New York. But then also keep in mind that you can adjust the location by city, by state, by country, and hopefully very soon by zip code area. So you can also exclude locations in case you don't want your dog to end up in a bad area, and you can include or yeah, languages. So let's say I want my dog to be raised by an American family, but I also would like some different backgrounds for it. So you can add as many languages as you want, as long as they are accepted by the platform you selected, which in this case is Facebook. And then we have the detailed targeting, which can be included or excluded. And this will be sort of what we would find in Facebook as our interests. So let's say I'm going to find, I don't know, dog owners, for example. Small business owners, no, dog owners. So it's not showing me, let's say dog interests, for example. And then I don't know what else to type in. So I put on suggestions and now it shows dog owners, which is a behavior, but then you can also have dog food and products or interests or work positions in case you need, I don't know, depends on what you're going to be using for your campaign. You can add as many detailed targeting as you want. Just keep in mind that when we add detailed targeting, it will be excluding everything that is not within this different interests. So it's just something to keep in mind. We don't want to have a very small, like reduced audience, but we don't want to keep them really, really big either. So it's something that we need to play with, like how many detailed targetings we include. And once we have reviewed this, we have a pretty solid audience. Then we can go ahead and click next. And this will take us to the third and final stage of the campaign creation process, which is the creatives part. As I told you earlier, we have images, carousels, and videos available for Facebook, and then I'm going to show you in a minute how to use the Ad Creator tool in case you don't have them. So I'm going to be showing you each of them so you get an idea of what they would look like. So let's say you're creating a campaign directly on Facebook. This is exactly what you will find when it comes to upload your creatives. The only difference is that we have a creative name just for a reference. So I'm going to put here puppy A. The description text is the same that you would find on Facebook, which is at the top of your image. So give a puppy the life he deserves. Then we're going to have the headline text, which is the one that goes big underneath your text. So we're going to name it Adopt a Puppy. And then we finally have the feed description text, which goes below the headline text. Um, Change your life. Adopt a puppy. We also can include a call to actions, which in this case I'm going to put contact us. And now this is what you would do. And then, well, of course, we upload the image. So let me find a cute puppy. Once it has uploaded, this is what you would usually do on Facebook directly. You just upload one image. The difference with our adOptimizer is that you will have to upload minimum two, but as many as you can. And the reason why we have this is that the more information we have here, the more images and the more different texts we have in creatives, the more information our AI will have available to play with and to test and to try different variations. So my suggestion here is to upload minimum 4 to 5 different images with different copies, if available. And the more information you get here, the more information we will be able to use to optimize. So this is really important. Now I understand it can be difficult to come up with 5 different images if you're not a photographer or if you're not a designer. So just try to change them as much as you can. But if you can't change the images, at least try to change the text as much as you can. So let's say you want to convey the same message, but you can always change, instead of puppy, you can use little dog, or just try to play with variations. Try to change words here and just try to make them as varied as you can. Right now I'm just going to duplicate this creative and delete this one so I can show you what it would look like. Let's say I have uploaded 5 different images with 5 different copies. If you hit up next, it will show you what the campaign would look like. So we have the dog, the adopt a puppy, change your life. You can see how it looks like on desktop and mobile. The last thing you have to do is just click on this button that says create, and that's it. That will be having your campaign running. For now, I'm just going to hit on cancel because I want to show you the other formats as well. So this is for a single image. If we click here on carousels, it's going to be sort of the same. It's going to have a minimum of 2 different carousels, and they will have 3 different images each. So this is also important, to upload as many different images as you can and try to change the text as much as you can so the AI has enough information to actually make optimization. With videos, we understand it can be a little bit difficult to have 3 different versions of the same video. So in this case, we will only request mandatorily one video, and then at least 3 different creatives, meaning the copies for the video. So that will be a little easier. Now, if you do have different versions of the video, you can also upload them here, up to 3. And that would be even better because it will let us know if one of the 3 is outperforming the other 2. But this is, again, not mandatory on this position. And now I want to show you really quickly what the ad creator could do for you in case you don't have any videos or images or anything. So we hit on the ad creator tool, we go to continue, and this will help us create the different visual assets for you. You can create images, carousels, or video by our in-house designers. Of course, this will have an additional fee, but it's a really resourceful tool in case you don't have or don't know any designers or photographers. So this is an example of what they can do for you. This is actually one of the Datagran's official advertising images. So let's see, let's say I want to create 5 images or whatever. So let's go ahead and click on next. And this will be like briefing your designers. So the first thing that you need to do is which language. So we currently have available English and Spanish. So let's say I want it in English. Then you have to write a brief description of what you want to say with this ad. So I need to find a family for a dog. And then additional info you want to include in your ads, for example, prices, promotion, explanation, slogan, etc. So you fill this up and then you click on next, and it's going to take you to describe your audience. So who are my audience? People who are interested in adopting dogs. Now, obviously, this has to be as complete as you can. This is just a small example, but try to be as detailed as you can here so our designers have exactly in mind what you want. The next thing is going to ask us is a creative reference. So let's say you saw an image of what you want to show on your advertising, and you saw it online. So you just click on the image or on the link where you saw the image, and you bring it here. For now, I'm just going to put test. But you can put here a visual reference so that our designers know exactly what you want. And then finally, the fourth step will be, well, your assets. So you can choose the number of images that you will need for your campaign. If you have any logos or something that you need to include or pictures themselves, then you can just add them here. If you're gonna need stock photos, then that's a different story and how many stock photos you want. Once you have finished creating this, you only have to hit on next and it will take you to a confirmation screen and you will have your assets ready within 1 business day. So these can be pretty useful. So, well, that would be the create campaign process. As you can see, it's very simple. It's as if you were creating them on Facebook or on Instagram directly. And now I want to show you what a campaign looks like once it has run. And I want you to see what the results can be filtered by and just so you have an idea of what you can expect from the adOptimizer. So, like I mentioned earlier, these are all the campaigns that we have run before. I'm just going to choose anyone, for example, this one, and it's going to load the insights of that campaign. So first, let's see, it shows you the name of the campaign up here, the objective, which was ROI for this one, the channels where your campaign ran, and the budget your campaign had. So you can see the performance, you can see the preview of what your campaign looked like. So as you can see, we have one single image with 5 different variations. We have several different images. Um, and then we also have the audiences that we used for this specific campaign. So this is just for your reference. And now let's go into the performance. This is what the campaign performed. This is how the campaign performed. In terms of conversions, since this was an ROI, this is the results in terms of conversions on a daily basis. You can filter them by CPA, by cost per acquisition, the reach your campaign had throughout the entire time, the impressions your campaign made, how much money you spent on a daily budget, the link clicks you had, the conversion intention. All of these different charts can be downloaded in PNG, in JPG, PDF. You can also print them, and we're currently working on creating a much more comprehensive report maker. But this will be a feature that will be available soon. And then I want to show you what the ad analyzer looks like, which is probably one of our most interesting features. So right now, I know this might seem a little confusing, just 6 squares, and you're wondering what they're about. So on the top left corner, it will show you which one of the 6 or 5 different images you uploaded was the most successful one. So as you can see, this one was the one that performed better. Then in the middle, it will show you the general feeling or the general like sensation of the campaign. Right now, it's showing no faces because this is an illustration. But let's say you uploaded, I don't know, in one image you have a happy face, and then another you have someone not so happy or more serious, or maybe even sad or angry. It will tell you which one was the general feeling that outperformed the rest and that was better for your campaign. Then it will also show you the most common words that were highlighted because they were performing better in the campaign, and then it will show you the most common images. Now it's showing me like black circle on Facebook run because this was an illustration. But let's say you created a carousel and you uploaded, I don't know, belts and handbags in a different picture. Then here it will show you so belts were better because this and that, and or handbags, or just depending on what you're advertising, it will tell you what was performing better. It will also give you a color palette of the best performing uh, creative, and it will also give you the format that worked best, which in this case was an image. Now, this is useful, and this is just for this specific campaign that I ran. But if you have run several campaigns before, this ad analyzer tool will serve, let's say, as a database of information of all your historical campaigns. So you will be able to see not only which one performed better on this specific campaign, but throughout all of the campaigns that you have run before. So the more information this gets, the better results you can get, because you will know what type of images work, what kind of feelings work, the words that have worked best for you before, and the color palette. Like, it's a very comprehensive tool in terms of giving you a hint of what to do in the future and what has worked best in the past for you. Finally, you can also check the best results, or filter the best results by age, gender, and region. So you can filter them by age, see which age range worked better for you, which gender did better for you, or which region. So for example, if you launched a nationwide campaign and you just wanted to see which states were giving you some sort of results, this can serve as a future reference. So the next time you create a campaign, you don't need to try every single state, and you can skip the ones that didn't show any results and go for the ones that have better results. But then you can also search by amount spent. Like, it gives you a whole lot of variations of variables, sorry, to have as a future reference for campaigns that you want to create, and not having to waste budget on states that you know for a fact that won't be giving you any sort of results. So this is also very useful for future campaigns. And I guess that would be it. This is how you create a campaign. This is how you review them, the ad analyzer tool. And I don't know if you have any more questions, but like I said earlier, just leave them on the questions box. We will be replying to them as soon as this webinar is over. And well, I just want to thank you for spending this time with me, you guys. I know it can be a little bit intimidating to use a new tool, but as you can see, this tool is very user friendly. If you have any questions, like I said, just leave them here and I'll be more than happy to reply them to you. And I hope to see you guys pretty soon. I hope we can keep coming up with webinars with different information for you guys. So thank you again for joining me. And well, this was Alejandro, and I hope to see you guys very soon.